Hello, my name is Branden Bryce. Welcome to the Veggie Gardener. We're doing another pajama day, so get your pajamas and some coffee or tea, and then we'll begin. Cool, so now that you're back, we're going to talk about Brassicaceae, and what I usually do is I split them up into two groups. Some of them I plant only in the spring, and then the others I only plant in the fall. The spring plants I usually go for the small plants, and the fall plants I usually go for the big plants. Now you don't have to do it that way, that's just how I do it. These small plants you can plant in the fall as well. So we're going to talk about all three. I know this is kind of looks like a complex board, but I don't want you to pay attention to this side right now. I just want you to pay attention to this side. We do have a legend, and our setup is pretty much the same. Hardiness, spacing, maturity, planting. The circled S is spring, circled F is fall. Okay, so for our big picture, all these plants, if all you get out of this is the big picture, you'll be just fine. They're all hardy. The spacing is 2 to 6 inches. Remember that the roots are on the lower end, the leaves are on the higher end. The maturity is about 2 months. Planting in the spring is April, planting in the fall is August. If you watch the Chenopodiaceae video, it's pretty much the same, which is another cool thing is, you don't have to memorize a lot because all these plants have the same similar management style. All right, so let's get on to a little bit more detail. All right, so this side of the board, so we have our radish, turnip, and arugula. The radishes, so I pretty much just dragged the same thing over. Hardiness, spacing, maturity, plant in spring, plant in fall. However, I just wanted to highlight the unique aspects of the plants. For radishes, they're small, like the carrot, so the diameter is low. The small diameter, the spacing is going to be 2 inches. The unique aspect of radishes is even though they're a root, they're going to mature really fast, so 1 month. Which means that when we plant them in the spring, we can actually even plant them a little later because they're not going to be trying to grow in the heat of the summer. So we can plant them April and May. For the turnip pretty much has this entire big picture. It's just going to be a little thicker than the radish. So it's going to need a 4-inch spacing. The arugula, it's a leaf just like all the other leaves that we've talked about. The unique aspect of arugula is, well, let me actually cover Brassicaceae family as a whole. The Brassicaceae family is a very hardy family. They can handle the cold. So there's a lot of plants within the family Brassicaceae that are very hardy. Arugula is one of them. These guys can take the cold super well. So well that we can probably even be planting them right now. It is March 30th. We can plant them late March in essence. So that's why I have this minus circled, April minus. And then when we start, whoops, that's not right. August. All right, when we start planting them in the fall, we're going to be planting them in August or even later because again, they can take that cold. They can be maturing in December and that'll be totally fine. So that's all of our small plants. And again, I plant them mostly in spring, but you can easily plant them in the fall. That's perfectly okay. Another unique aspect about the radishes, there are specifically fall radishes. They're bigger, they take a longer time to mature, but as beginners, I'm kind of just not going to focus on them right now. There's enough plants to focus on, and we'll get that. We will get there. All right, cool. We will now talk about the next group of plants under the Brassicaceae family. Those are going to be our larger plants, so let's get into it. Cool. Now that we're back, we're doing all our larger plants within the family Brassicaceae. These plants I like to plant in the fall. So we got broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, collards, kale, Kohlrabi, Rutabaga. It's going to be our biggest family. So again, just like last time, don't pay attention to this side right now, just pay attention to this side. We did expand the legend to include semi-hardy because we have one plant that's semi-hardy, and we also are including starts and transplants. Now within this video series, this curriculum we have not covered starts or transplants quite yet, but once we get to these guys, I plan to have covered them. So don't worry if you want to do that. However, in the fall, we can actually direct sow. So that's also kind of nice. All right, so the big picture with all of these guys, if this is all you remember, that's great. They're all pretty much hardy. Spacing is 18 inches. Maturity is 3 to 4 months. Planting in the spring, we will want to start our plants inside late February to early March, and we will be transplanting them outside in April. In the fall, we can start them in mid to late June and transplant them in late July. Or we can just take the easy route and direct sow them in late June. All right, so the unique ones. We have cauliflower and kohlrabi. Cauliflower is unique because it's the only semi-hardy within the family Brassicaceae, for gosh sakes, right? Kohlrabi is a mid-sized plant. It's not small, it's not big. So the spacing is 7 to 9 inches, and it's actually going to mature just a little earlier than this group, and that's going to be 2+ months. So somewhere between that 2 and 3 month area. All right. Hey, so I didn't explain it in the video, but I want to just take a second and quickly explain it. If you do want to start these plants, the brassicas, your start to transplant time will be 6 weeks. So start them inside, you wait 6 weeks, and then you'll transplant them outside. Cool, that's it. Okay, so I wanted to show you why I actually like to plant all these. Well, let me explain this first. All the big plants, they fall under the family Brassicaceae, but then the genus is actually Brassica. That's I think for all of the big plants. All right, so with that out of the way, why I like to plant Brassica, genus Brassica, in the fall is because, so one, seeds like to germinate in warm temperatures, even for the cold season plants. 2, smaller plants, seedlings, small plants, they are less hardy than larger plants. That goes for every plant, but also the fall plant, or the cool season plants. So, they like to grow in cold temperatures, but the seedlings can't handle as cold temperatures, and the seeds germinate in warm temperatures. So if you're going to plant them in the spring, you're going to have to start them inside. And then when you transplant them out, you're still going to kind of have to baby them a little bit because it's still going to be more colder than when they're going to be trying to actually grow. If you do a fall season, you can start them or even direct sow them in the summer. The temperature's warm, the seeds will germinate faster, but then you're also not risking really cold temperatures, and those plants, those seedlings will do fine. They'll do better if they're getting beaten by the cold. But then once they get to be mature plants, they will be able to handle that cold. So that's why I like to plant these guys in the fall season. Again, you can do it in the spring, totally fine. That's up to you. But so yeah, that's what I like to do. And thanks for watching. I hope you have a good day. Oh wait, before I get sources. So I wanted to show you this new source. So this is The Year-Round Gardener, the Year-Round Vegetable Gardener by Nikki Jabour. I think that's French. She's, I believe, in Canada. So if I pronounce that wrong, I'm sorry, Nikki. But this is a great book to have around. It's a good beginner book. It has very basic information, but it's just, it has a lot of information too. Okay. All right. And of course, CSU Extension website, Vegetable Planting Guide, is a great source, just absolutely great. The next topic we're going to touch on is the family Allium, and they're a unique family. And then, yeah, all right, cool. Now we're good. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a good day.